The Apocalypse of Adam, discovered in the Nag Hammadi library, is a pivotal Gnostic text that provides an alternative interpretation of the biblical creation story, revealing hidden layers of meaning from a Gnostic perspective. Written in Coptic and dating back to the 1st or 2nd century AD, the text presents a revelation from Adam to his son Seth, offering a profound retelling of creation, the fall of humanity, and the coming of a savior. It is a rich, symbolic text that diverges from traditional Christian narratives, presenting a universe shaped by competing divine forces and a world that is entrapped by an evil creator. The Apocalypse of Adam is framed as a secret revelation that Adam, the first man, passes on to his son Seth. Adam, nearing the end of his life, reflects on his experiences and reveals a hidden truth about the nature of the world and the beings that rule over it. He explains that the story of creation, as told by the ruling powers of the world, is a lie meant to keep humanity in ignorance. The text itself is structured into multiple sections. It begins with Adam's retelling of his and Eve's origin and their fall, moves on to discuss the various kingdoms that rule over the world, and ends with a prophecy about the coming of a savior who will liberate humanity from the dominion of these powers.
Seth, my son, listen closely. The story you know is not the true story. We were not created by the God of this world, but by a higher divine power. Our origin and fall have been twisted to keep us in darkness.
Father, what do you mean? How can this be true?
Adam's revelation sets the stage for a deeper understanding of the text, challenging the traditional narratives. The first part of the text presents a revisionist version of the Genesis story. Adam tells Seth that he and Eve were not created by the God of the Bible, but by a higher divine power, referred to in Gnostic theology as the true God or the invisible spirit.
Seth, we once dwelled in a higher spiritual realm, living in a state of pure knowledge and divine light. But our existence was disrupted by a lesser, malevolent deity.
This lesser deity, is it the one we call Yahweh?
Yes, the demiurge. He created the material world and deceived us into becoming trapped in physical bodies. He is ignorant of the higher spiritual realm and seeks to keep us in ignorance.
According to Adam, this demiurge is identified with the God of the Old Testament, who the Gnostics saw as a false god. Adam explains that he and Eve were cast into this material prison against their will, and their true spiritual nature was hidden from them by the rulers of this material world.
Our fall was not due to disobedience, but because of the demiurge's efforts to keep us ignorant of our true, divine origin. The serpent in the Garden of Eden was actually a positive figure, trying to awaken us to our true selves. But Yahweh and his Archons prevented this awakening, trapping humanity further in the material world.
This reinterpretation of the Genesis story challenges the traditional view and offers a new perspective on the nature of humanity's fall and the forces that seek to keep us in ignorance. After recounting his fall, Adam moves on to explain the existence of multiple heavenly realms or kingdoms, each ruled by a powerful Archon. These Archons are malevolent beings that control various aspects of the material world and work to keep humanity enslaved to their physical existence.
These Archons are ignorant, jealous rulers who seek to dominate humanity and prevent us from gaining the gnosis that would lead to our liberation.
The Apocalypse of Adam provides a cosmological framework in which these Archons preside over different kingdoms, each with its own set of rules and systems of control. These kingdoms represent both spiritual and physical realms that humanity must navigate. Each Archon is linked to different forms of oppression and deception.
They keep us bound to the material world, and we are constantly being reincarnated within these kingdoms, each life a cycle of suffering under their dominion.
This cosmological view suggests that humanity is trapped in a cycle of reincarnation and suffering, with the Archons working tirelessly to keep us from discovering our true divine nature. The Great Flood is also reinterpreted in the Apocalypse of Adam. Unlike the biblical version, where the flood is a punishment for human wickedness, the flood was an attempt by the Archons to suppress human knowledge. The rulers, realizing that humanity was beginning to awaken to its divine origins, sent the flood to destroy the knowledge of the higher invisible God and keep humanity enslaved to ignorance. Despite the flood, knowledge or gnosis survives. This knowledge will continue to be passed down through a secret lineage, a line of righteous people who will preserve the truth about humanity's divine origin. This hidden knowledge will be safeguarded until the final salvation, when a savior will come to free humanity from the clutches of the Archons. The final section of the text contains a prophecy about a future savior.
A great Redeemer will come, born from the divine realm, to free humanity from the material world and the rule of the Archons. This savior will reveal the truth about humanity's divine origins and the nature of the false god, the demiurge. The savior will perform miracles and bring knowledge to humanity, enabling them to awaken from the deception of the material world. The Archons, realizing their power is in danger, will attempt to destroy this savior, but they will ultimately fail. The savior's message of Gnosis will spread, leading to the liberation of souls who are trapped in the material realm.
This savior figure is a common theme in Gnostic thought, representing the divine emissary who comes from the higher spiritual realms to bring knowledge and salvation. In some interpretations, this savior is identified with Jesus Christ, though the Gnostic version of Christ differs from the traditional Christian understanding. For Gnostics, Christ is not a figure who dies for humanity's sins, but rather a divine being who brings spiritual knowledge that frees people from the material world. The Apocalypse of Adam concludes with a vision of the final liberation of humanity.
Those who receive the Gnosis brought by the Savior will be freed from the cycle of reincarnation and escape the kingdoms of the Archons. They will ascend to the higher, invisible God and live in the realm of light, returning to the spiritual state that Eve and I originally inhabited before our fall. However, those who reject the knowledge will remain trapped in the material world, subject to the rule of the Archons and the cycle of suffering.
The end of the world is portrayed not as a physical apocalypse, but as the spiritual awakening of humanity, where those who embrace Gnosis are saved, while others remain imprisoned in ignorance. The Apocalypse of Adam is a profound expression of Gnostic beliefs, offering an alternative view of the creation story, human history, and the role of salvation. It presents a dualistic universe in which the material world is a prison, created by a false god, Yahweh, and only through the Gnosis of the true God can humanity find liberation. The text weaves together themes of divine rebellion, hidden knowledge, and the promise of a future savior who will bring humanity back to its original divine state. In this way, the Apocalypse of Adam reflects the core tenets of Gnosticism, the belief in a cosmic struggle between good and evil, the importance of secret knowledge, and the ultimate goal of spiritual liberation.